What's good, YouTube? My name is JJ. Welcome back to Retro Rewire. Once again at HQ in the game room. I just got back from an awesome trip, a fantastic trip out to Sapporo, Japan. Beautiful city. And let me tell you, a little bit of snow isn't going to stop me from doing my thing, and that's going to be retro game hunting. I took advantage of all my free time, hit up so many stores. The next few videos all about that, so definitely stay tuned. But before we get to the Surugaya, which we will cover in this video, we gotta hop on a train. Guys, forget the train, let's go ahead and board the plane. And to my surprise, look at this, it was a Pokemon themed plane. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I know almost nothing about Pokemon. In fact, I couldn't even name this Pokemon or this one here. No clue, but it was definitely a nice surprise. And if you see here on the runway, there's another Pokemon themed plane, and I also saw a few others from other major anime series. But as the plane takes off, which is one of my favorite moments, the landing being the other. Now let me just say, if you're married, if you're in a serious relationship, if you have kids, while you're on vacation and you're trying to do game hunting, it just comes with a different set of rules. And then add to the fact that there could be limited time. Now for me, 3 days, 2 nights. Thankfully, I went with my wife and my mother-in-law, so that definitely bought me some time to do some game hunting each and every day. Granted, not all day, because that's just plain rude. But the objective was to stay around, the downtown area, do all the touristy spots, and then head out to a few more, I don't want to say like super remote locations, but stuff that was about 30 minutes away and whatnot. And that was definitely super cool. And it allowed me to get some content and just get an idea of how things were out there. Now, my goals were like PC Engine, Sega Mega Drive, Super Famicom, Sega Saturn, Neo Geo. That's a big old set of options there, as well as some hardware. And I was a little bit more open in regard to the hardware. But if you look at the weather here, be careful because there could be delays and cancellations with the trains. But anyhow, finally made it to the city, and the weather just kind of, in some parts of or throughout the day, the weather just kind of like changes throughout, like rather rapidly. It's kind of crazy. But my first impression of the city, absolutely beautiful. And I definitely want to return during the warmer months so that I could also explore deeper into Hokkaido. So definitely expect that sometime. I don't know if this year, maybe next year, but that's definitely in the works. And then this is one of the backside of one of the ice sculptures. And this is the view from the hotel room, conveniently located like in the downtown commercial area. And this Norbessa building is definitely of interest because it houses not only the Mandarake on the 2nd floor, but a Surugaya on the 1st and 3rd floors. And I'm going to highlight it here. You could actually see it there. So that's going to be today's video. We're going to hit up the Surugaya in downtown Sapporo. But first, we're going to eat, drink, and eat some more. And with the full stomach, let's go ahead and make our way down to the Surugaya and look at this beautiful weather, this snow. As a matter of fact, just yesterday it was snowing in the Tokyo area, and that was a nice surprise. I don't really pay attention to the weather. Sometimes I just kind of head out there, but yeah, this was great. And one thing that I do highly recommend is dress appropriately. Having the proper shoes, gloves will make a huge difference. Believe me, you don't want to be too much of a cowboy and just kind of head out here with your sneakers. But surprisingly, there was a lot of locals in their sneakers. But anyhow, let's go ahead, head into the Norbessa building. This is the 1st floor of the Surugaya, and it's just a bunch of figures. A lot of figures. So if you're into that, this is definitely a place to come. Look at Gohan here at his finest hour. But we're gonna head up there, we're heading up to the 2nd floor. And I didn't really film at the Mandarake, but I'm definitely gonna show you guys what I picked up. And it's definitely worth going in because they do have a small selection of games as well as guidebooks and magazines. Now, this is my first pickup, which is Super Donkey Kong at 300 yen. So really inexpensive. And they had a number of guides at a similar price point. And I love collecting these things, but I always say it, be careful because these are the things that are going to weigh your luggage down, but very inexpensive, very addicting. Now the other thing is Gradius 2, Gopher's Ambition here for the Famicom. This is one that I've been wanting for quite some time, and as you can see, a little bit of damage there and also on the bottom there. Um, but overall, super happy with this pickup, and I feel that I got it at a pretty good price considering the location. Now you can see a little bit of a stain there on the cart, but I believe that's something that could be washed off. It has the original Konami tray, and then also here is how you access the sound mode in case you just have the cart only and you're not aware of that. But anyhow, overall, super happy with this, and then I paid 6,600 yen after the sales tax. So overall, pretty good. Definitely cheaper than what I've seen it in Akihabara. So a little bit of a nice surprise there. Now we're gonna head up to the third floor, and here you can see that there is the Surugaya. Now at a glance, this thing looks pretty impressive here, and it was definitely sucking me in like a with its little allure of it all. But before we head in there, you know, from just the corner of my eye, I was able to see this, and they pretty much have the whole third floor to themselves, with the exception of a few restaurants. But and naturally, the games are going to be at the very end because they want to just suck you in. And there's all sorts of stuff here, from like anime figures, little plushie dolls, and music soundtracks, just everything that they have here. But let's get closer, and all the way in there. And I gotta say, at a glance, this showcase is very impressive. Far more impressive than the Surugaya in Shinjuku, as well as any of the Surugayas that are currently in Akihabara. I mean, this thing is massive. As a matter of fact, let's just glance it over before we dig in deep. And that's going to be, this case is going to be what's going to make up primarily the majority of this episode, just because there's so much to see. But keep in mind, the stuff that's in the showcase naturally is going to be, you know, the most expensive stuff. And it's not going to be a real representation of what you're going to find inside the store. In fact, let's take another nice and slow look at what's in store and what is to come. Look at this. It's just a retro storm brewing. Here we have the Saturn mouse, which is also compatible with light gun games. Then we got a V Saturn coming in at 19,000 in the box. And speaking of in the box, we have a Neo Geo, and that box looks fairly clean. And look at the price on this, 84,000 yen. Now here's the formula. Keep this one in mind. You can just substitute USD for your own currency and whatnot, but that's definitely gonna make things a lot easier if you're not familiar with the yen. But you should definitely be familiar if you're gonna be making your way out here. Now there's a annoying little glare because some of the lights are like 50 hertz. So we're just gonna fix the tracking here and get rid of that little annoying you know, just the light flicker. And it was like at 50.7, something weird, so it was slightly off. But let's just focus on the games here. We got House of the Dead 2 at 7,800. Now this one, if you go out to the countryside, you may be able to find it. It's not as widely available, but usually when I see it out there, it's about 3,000 yen. So definitely a lot cheaper, but sometimes this is convenience trumps everything else. But here we have some Game Gear micros, and then we got some Cyber Stick in the back. I'm not really sure what platform that's for. And then a couple of mini consoles. But you know what? Let's go ahead and dig into the games because there is a lot to see. We're not even in the store yet. Guys, now for some of you right away, you're disgusted. The price is too high. It's going to be nothing more than a museum. And for an equal amount of you, it's going to be a destination. You're probably already making notes on your itinerary, on your wish list. It's a place to be. Now for me personally, I'm only a few hours into the trip. I ain't committing to nothing. Although I gotta say, Dracula XX on the Super Famicom, Golden Axe 2, Ninja Gaiden on the Game Boy, those were the ones that were really calling out to me. But let's go ahead and keep exploring because there is a lot more to see. A lot more to see indeed. As a matter of fact, there's another showcase, and thank goodness that it's not retro. It's just current gen stuff. So it poses no threat whatsoever to my wallet, as I'm not really actively collecting for anything that's current gen. You know, the PS5, the Series X, there's nothing really on the horizon that calls out to my attention. I am playing Elden Ring, and that one is definitely keeping me super busy. And well, here's one that's highly sought after, this slime controller for the PS4 coming in at 7,000 yen, which isn't too bad of a price there. But yeah, well, I guess every now and then I do buy a Switch title, with the last one being the Dodonpachi M2 Shot Triggers release, which was, when did that come out? Like about a month ago. I think that was my most recent current gen pickup. But on the subject of Switch, let's check out a few games. We have Gimmick, the special edition. This was also at this shop for the PlayStation 4, and that's coming in at 8,900 yen. And then we have a number of JRPGs, which I have no clue about. We have this Trinity Trigger, and then we have Atelier Marie, which I believe that series, the Atelier series, could have started life on the Super Famicom. That's a long-running one. Now here's one that definitely caught my attention, the Belt Action Collection for the Nintendo Switch. Now that's something that I definitely would like to add, but you know, when I really think about it, it's just going to sit on the shelf. I already have the standard edition, and as nice as those extras are, we're gonna have to let it go there. And let's see what else they have for the old Switch. Actually, there's one title that really caught my attention, which we'll have a look at here soon. But there's Bare Knuckle 4. Now I do have this. My copy is still sealed, and it's been sealed since I purchased it, which was like a few weeks after launch, or maybe a couple months after launch. But here's one. The Batsugan Saturn Tribute Boosted release by City Connection. This is like the collector's edition, I think. But 7,000 and some change, and you know what? That's almost half the cost of what it would be to get the real deal Sega Saturn version. So that one is just gonna have to go back. Here I have no clue what this could be, but you know, current gen stuff, definitely hit up Surugaya, because a lot of their pricing is gonna be competitive, and they're gonna have quite a bit. And as a matter of fact, look everything that they have to offer on this store. But here's another showcase. And it seems to have, what, PS2, PS3, PlayStation Vita, and PSP. Here we have a few PS Vita TVs, all white versions. And then just the standalone one is 20,000 yen, which that's definitely the lowest that I've seen it in quite a long time. And then in the top shelf, a bunch of PlayStation Vitas. I finally have PS Vita 2000 complete in the box. Super happy with that. And there's only a few more PlayStation Vita games that I would like to get. But then past that, we have some strategy guides with this Zelda box, rated Z for Zelda fans. I'm not sure what this is, but it definitely caught my attention. And that thing could be pretty cool, especially for collectors of Zelda. But let's go ahead and see the variety of games that they have to offer, because they have quite a bit at this store. So let's check it out. Quite the variety indeed. They also had PS3, PS4, PS5, Wii U, and a few other, like Neo Geo CD, which I didn't show. And if you want to see more on the game stacks, definitely leave a comment down below, and I'll be more than happy to make an additional video just kind of showing that off. But for now, let's go ahead and focus on the hardware. We have a Pro controller there for the Neo Geo. We got a couple of Dreamcast controllers here. We got the keyboard and the standard controller coming in at 1,900 yen. In the box, you know, so if you're a hardcore collector, that's definitely not too bad of a price. Here we have the 3D controller, definitely discolored, but 2,900 yen, not too bad of a price there. And then we have the Sega Dreamcast arcade stick coming in at 6,000 yen. That thing is a thing of beauty. Definitely like that. But I ended up selling both of mine just due to space. But here we have a Game Boy player and the GameCube, the Indigo, and both of those are coming in at 12,000 yen. But it's definitely worth looking through those stacks because sometimes you can find a good bargain. Here we have the ASCII FT for the pad for the Dreamcast. Definitely would love to add one of those to the collection. We got some BMUs and another Dreamcast. And then the Super Graphics, 46,000 yen. Next to that, we have the old Super CD-ROM, which has a funky design. I recently sold mine. And the price on that, 24,000, that's definitely not too bad. I sold mine at Retro Game Camp, and the last time I was in there, they priced it just shy of 40,000, so that's definitely quite the difference. But here we have a Mega Drive coming in at 3,000 yen, and they have another one next to it, which is a little bit more expensive, but not by much. And I'm not sure why that is. Maybe one of them includes a controller or something extra. But here we have the Neo Geo arcade stick, 5,000 yen, not too bad of a price on that. And then a variety of Super Famicom cases, which I do like this one with the Mario Kart logo or design there. This one is a little bit too generic for me, for my taste. But yeah, definitely cool. They also had another showcase, which I completely, I don't know if I recorded it or if I just deleted the footage, but I couldn't find it, which is a shame. But definitely, if you want to see more on the game aisle, more of the games, let me know in the comments once again. But what we're going to do is we're going to head back to HQ, and I'm going to show you guys what I picked up at this location. So a lot of good stuff yet to come. So let's get back. Guys, what a way to start off this vacation. And I'm going to tell you right now, the next time I find myself in Sapporo, I'm definitely going to hit up the shop once again. This is the Surugaya in Sapporo. And it's in a super convenient location, smack down in the downtown commercial area. And I have to say, from everything that I saw, Dracula XX, Golden Axe 3, Ninja Gaiden on the Game Boy, Swordmaster on the Famicom, and a few other titles were definitely holding me there, and they had me thinking, but I wasn't gonna buy anything super expensive because it was just the first day. I was in the city for a few hours. I'm not gonna get crazy, but I did have a few pickups. Now, what I got was a strategy guide for Super Mario Kart as well as Super Mario All-Stars. This is an interesting one, and it has all sorts of little tips, and definitely one that I wanted in the collection when I saw it anyhow. I also got Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Mega Drive, as well as Part 3, but the catch with Part 3 is that it's just the box, the manual, the postcard, and the insert. Maybe I'll find the game in a future date. Now, I have all the Sonic games, I have all the North American versions, so I'm definitely going to be getting rid of those because I definitely prefer the Japanese cover art on all of these. But anyhow, if you want to see more on this shop, leave a comment down below and I'll be more than happy to make another video of all the games in the stacks. But anyhow, that's going to be it for today's episode. My name is JJ. Thank you for checking out Retro ReWire, and more content on Sapporo is to come, believe me. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Ciao.